Today's topic of discussion is motivation, willpower, persistence, all these things that we think we need that drive behavior change to actually change the results that we desire, because ultimately everything comes down to we want something different in our life. We want some sort of improvement. We want some ease, freedom, financial improvement, relationship improvement, and to make those improvements, it's built on behavioral change, things that we have to do differently to drive the results. And when you are stuck in a certain pattern, sometimes you might rely on motivation or willpower. And then when you do that, you assume that it's persistence and perseverance that gets you through. But motivation fluctuates, mood, state, environment, time of day, weather, just even a conversation with someone can really affect motivation for the better or for the worse. Willpower depletes like a battery. There's some studies on something called willpower depletion, which is you have a certain amount of willpower during the day, and as you start to use up that willpower, it depletes. And one of the quickest way to kill willpower is indecision, when you're constantly trying to decide what to actually do. That destroys willpower like anything. It's like a leaking bucket. And persistent, that's more like a personality trait. It's something to be developed. So I'm going to share with you some ideas of something different. It came through my morning exercise. I've missed it for a few days, and I've gone in and done 30 minutes exercise, gentle, slow, steady, and it's released endorphins. And it got me thinking what actually made me go through with it today. And the word that was coming up was intention. Intention is way more powerful than the things I've mentioned. It's way more powerful than motivation, way more powerful than willpower, persistence. When you have someone who's got strong intention, they become fixated, single-minded on the thing that they actually want to do. And you can tell when someone's intent on something. You only need to have a look at the news right now when someone's got an agenda that they're driving through, that strong intention that just makes them do things that people question why they're actually doing it. But intention can be used for good as well. And in association with the intention is there's attention. So what actually drives consistent action is the relationship between these two things, intention and attention. Attention is controllable. You can learn how to develop that. It's very much like a muscle and a skill. One of the biggest issues right now is attention deficit, attention span. These things are being discussed with social media. Some people cannot even watch a complete video before they get distracted with something else, the shiny penny syndrome, and they're looking for more curiosity and novelty. I think everyone's has a problem with that at the moment to some degree. So when you set an intention, it will give your mind a direction. And when you place your attention on that intention, you focus your energy on it instead of distractions. Have a look at the word distraction and break it up into two parts. Action is the thing that you want to do, that you need to do to move you forward. It's almost like that golden thread, that line that you need to be on, that path that you need to be on. Distraction is anything that takes you away from that, that moves you off that line, that puts you into another direction and a destination. So both these two are interrelated, and there's a cycle between them. And the way to actually learn to develop strong intention is to learn how to focus your attention. So attention sparks intention. If you focus on something, you naturally start forming intentions around that. This is why it's almost crucial to have some sacred time in the morning, that before your problems, issues and challenges start flooding your head, you meditate even for a few minutes and clear your head and start focusing your attention on the life that you actually want to create and the improvements that you want to make, because that attention starts getting stronger the more you do it regularly in the morning, focusing on the goals that you actually want to achieve rather than all the issues that you have to deal with. And then what happens is, as your intention starts to grow, it strengthens your attention and it keeps you focused and stops you getting distracted. You can get back on track much quicker. So once you've set an intention, it locks your attention onto it, filtering out noise. So effort and action reinforce both. Once you start to learn to focus your attention and you start to develop your intention, if you can follow that up even with the smallest amount of effort and action, when you follow through, the loop gets stronger and it becomes a self-reinforcing cycle. So why this works better than motivation? Well, motivation is unstable. It's not something to be relied on. If you want real results, motivation is beneficial, but it shouldn't be crucial. It's something you can use, but use intention and attention really to drive through. When you focus on intention and attention, it's renewable. Even if you fall off track, you can refocus your attention back on the thing that you want, and it gets you back on an upward cycle again. So you can reset at any moment, any time. You can reset your attention and your intention, and building this loop is like training a muscle. Every repetition strengthens your capacity. So the real question is, the real question isn't how do I stay motivated? How do I get motivated? How do I get started? The question is, how can I set clear intentions and train my attention to follow them through into action? In his book, Attention, Atomic Habits here, he actually does talk about intention, and there's something called implementation attentions that get you started. So how can you use this? Let's give you some journal questions. I'll write this all up into an article. I'll post it onto my website. The link will be in the first comment. Intention setting. What's the one clear intention I can set for today? So if you can set it for today, you start training your muscle today. You don't want to set it for the future because anything can happen. And how can you phrase it in a way that's specific and doable? So if you can start with small intentions and start getting those wins in and start building that muscle, that once you focus your attention and set your intention, you follow through, you start building that belief that you can actually affect your own motivation. So where does my attention usually wander when I'm distracted? That's another good question. Social media is a killer for this. What practice helps me bring back my attention? Breathing is a really powerful one. Journaling, reminders, prompts. Reflection loop. When I followed through with an intention recently, what role did my attention play? That's a really good question to ask. And how can I make intention, attention, action loop part of my daily routine? So these are just some loose thoughts for the morning. I'll get this all written up into an article, and hopefully you can get some benefit out of this. Start making some notes in your journal about intention and attention, and what do you actually understand about it at the moment? What does it mean to you? What's your definition of it? How have you used it in the past? I think these are really good starting points. Okay, hope you have a good day, and I will check in with you again later. Take care.